Hello and welcome to Garblag Games for episode 3 of Achtung, Cthulhu, the Burr of Last Resort.
We're still alive!
Yeah, so far.
And now.
Before we get started, the mighty Garblags in the sky would be angry at me if I didn't tell you to not forget to subscribe and like and do all the Twitchy and YouTubey things and join us on Discord and generally talk to us about what games you'd like to see and how we're doing. And with that, I think I'll just... who shall we pick this week? Aaron, how do you feel about giving us a short recap?
Sure. So, the last time we met, we left the compound and headed out to where we felt that we were going to run across their headquarters unit. We went in very quiet, very stealthy, able to approach the compound, get over the wall, silence the guards quickly and quietly. We moved in, thinking that we had this well in hand, and we came across a Nazi ninja who did some damage to it before we finally put him down. Then we made a upstairs, or at least that is where Warrant Officer Buzz Pike and Major Turner moved upstairs. We went in what we assumed would be the control room. And this is, of course, after our resistance agent Heinrich had laid explosives around the building so we could take it down with 20-minute timers on it. We moved into the communications room only to find two people, or what we thought were people, sitting at the control panel until we got a closer look and realized they had no legs. And in fact, their torsos were essentially mounted and plugged into the machinery. The Major made an executive decision, as all good commanders do, and opened fire, obliterating the two of them, but not before we lost a little bit of sanity. And that's where we broke last session.
So, to start off, I will remind everyone watching that this is a mature game played by immature players and a very immature GM. And then we'll get straight into it. So, yep, you're still... the Major and Busby Pike are still standing over the semi-smoking, leaking corpses of these mechanized, magical human hybrids that have been connected to a radio that has now gone very silent because you shot it and them to pieces.
But I only shot them. My aim was
okay
very
then. Yeah. Okay then. It's still gone silent because the people controlling it are dead. Well, people is probably a strong word. The things controlling it have been obliterated. They are leaking everywhere. So yeah, you're in a similar sized room to the one where the beds were, but with mostly a bunch of tables with some papers on it and the radio equipment stashed against the wall and these figures stuck in there.
Major, this ain't right, Major. I don't, Major. I don't understand what's going on here, Major. Major, I'm going back out of the room.
These crowds and bloody nuts. I'm gonna walk back out of the room, call down to the others.
No.
Heinrich, presto, up here.
Oh. Okay. Is Busby okay? He looks a strange colour.
I'll meet them on the stairs as they come up, rather than them walking in blind to what they're about to see.
Heinrich, I got no words, Heinrich. I think I'm going to be sick.
Oh. Okay. Well, please do
just
that
to warn
elsewhere.
You, there's a room down the corridor with a lot of radio equipment in, but they'd hooked up parts of people
Oh.
to the machines. It's not a pretty sight in there.
Oh.
We put them out of their misery.
Oh, so the people were... When you say parts of people,
Like
they were alive?
Like half a bloke, like plugged in. And
Top half or bottom half?
top half. They were alive. Well, I think. Either way, they're either a Nazi or it's a mercy kill. As far as I'm concerned, we couldn't leave them like that. But it's pretty grim in there. But I think this is something that you two need to look at. There's a lot of papers in there as well. There could be some good intelligence.
Okay.
Just brace yourselves. It's not a pretty sight in there.
Yeah. And you think this is a key asset for the Black Sun in the area?
I'm assuming so. There was a lot of radio chatter in there before we shot them.
Okay. Maybe
the kit's okay, but...
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe the two of you could retrieve the demolition charges and we focus on the radio?
Well, I think we bring down this building and make sure that's taken down with it.
Okay, but...
How much time is there on those bombs?
Yeah, you also might want to
20
check
minutes.
on the timers.
Oh yeah, we've got quite a while. We've only been in here like
Okay, let us know when we have like 10 and then we will start all panicking.
I'll break his watch. Like, we have plenty of time. Oh my god, 5 minutes, go!
I think you set him at 20 minutes, so you've probably got about 15 minutes left because that whole
that's
fight.
Right. You've got
Fights go quick.
You've got 5 minutes before we move out.
Okay.
Heinrich, I'll go down there and watch the charges. You guys, you stay up. I got to get out of this building. I'll go down there.
Keep an eye from downstairs. Make sure no one comes in. I'll sweep the upper floor. Make sure nothing else is here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you both. Okay, Presto.
Yep.
This is your area of expertise.
It is.
Should I bring a bucket?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. I need some sort of helmet or something.
Okay.
The one from the
Busby,
Nazi who got the
throw one of
shotgun
those crap helmets up.
blast in the face.
Yeah, that'll do.
Busby throws a crap helmet up.
Okay, there we go.
Heinrich.
So this wouldn't count for a normal supernatural phenomena like a ghost, right? I'm gonna get fucked up by seeing this.
Is a mixture of body horror basically and occultism in such a way that it just creeps everyone out.
Yeah, I figured. I know. Had to give it a shot.
Because it's very much. It feels very wrong when you look
Does he
at
get
it.
any kind of bonus for being forewarned about what to expect?
I was just going to say I'll let you each roll a bonus die because you're sort of steeled to the fact that you're going to see something horrendous.
Okay.
Wunderbar.
Warning people about horrendous situations is useful.
How do I move my character again?
Now we need someone to warm us, Aaron.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think I've done something, Lewis, to my character because I don't think I can move him. Wait.
Can you not?
I don't know. He's got an orange.
See.
I can't move
border
mine
around
either.
him.
No.
Oh, it's the game's paused. That's why.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
We're just stalling because
That's
terrible
that's just
horror
me
about
in
to happen.
Foundry.
Oh, this room
keep
doesn't look
forgetting
bad.
to. Yeah.
Is this the room?
It is indeed the room. So when you come in, the corpses are very visible. You can see the parts where organic material has been attached to pieces of metal encased with some kinds of crystals. So it's upsetting to look at still, even though they're leaking all over the place and just collapsed on the desk.
So a quick sand roll.
Please both roll sanity, but you get
bonus dice.
You get a bonus dice. Yep.
Is that more likely to get mad then?
No, because you should.
Oh no.
No, I have a mind of steel.
I think I'm also okay, aren't I? Yeah.
You.
No, I failed.
you
Failed by one level. You're 5 points off, so you could spend luck. By the way,
I will.
that's a good idea. You can all roll your luck, and then if you fail that, then you get 2d10 plus 5 luck, plus 6 luck.
Okay, so I have to. How do I roll my luck?
Click on it, I think.
Just click on click
Yeah,
on
you
that.
just click on where it says it.
No.
So
Oh yeah,
get
you
some-
failed, Heinrich. So you get the 2.
Succeed? That's terrible.
Oh, I failed very badly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
want to
good.
fail on a
Failing
luck
is
roll.
good
Oh,
Oh, okay. I failed.
because you did
extraordinarily
you did your experience rolls at the end of last game. So
yes.
and that's
I
why I
got-
forgot
I got
about the luck
nothing for
rolls.
them.
badly. 2d10?
Yeah, 2d10 plus. Is it plus?
2d10
Aaron
plus
usually
10.
knows this. Plus 10.
2d10 plus
yeah.
10 if you fail.
If you
1d10
fail, and
plus
1d10.
1d10 plus 5 if you succeed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you get something.
So everyone gets a bit of luck back.
Oh, I'm gonna spend luck like water.
I got 8 2d10. Oh, plus 10. Sorry.
plus 10, so you got
Yeah,
18.
Oh,
so
nice.
it got 18.
Oh.
So you can spend 5 of that to pass that
Oh,
sanity
I'm actually
roll.
just back to my original thing that I started with, 13. Okay.
Or if you
Unlucky number.
really want, you could try and push it by like
Nope.
trying to
No, I'll just
really
spend the luck.
steel yourself against it. Or, no,
Spend
you
the
can
luck.
No, that's not.
stare into the horrific
I was lucky to get it
cybernetic
close
magic.
to my son.
Okay then. So yeah, you both feel a bit queasy looking at it, and
Oh, thank you, Major. for the
basically
warning.
everyone who looks at it has a general
Yeah.
sense that it feels wrong in lesser or greater degree.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the helmet with me.
Does this
just
But
in
you
remind
case.
me
hold it
of
together.
the vision? Because I remember there were 2 people were there, kind of floating in the air. Could they be connected? I guess I'll have to make an occult roll, but
You can make an occult roll.
I assist, or is this all about his memory of the dream? Oh, I don't need to because he's amazing.
Oh wow!
2.
2. That is an
Fantastic.
extreme success, people watching at home. Presto, the magnificent.
I finally am mute. So
You're having a hard time remembering a lot of the dream, but the bits of it you do remember, the person you interacted with clearly had some occult powers of their own, but you're fairly they didn't seem strong enough to reach out this far, but now looking at this technology here, you get the sense that he may have been using it as a relay to reach out. So yeah, there is a minor connection there.
So using that information, would it be safe to assume that that's how they've been perhaps communing with these supernatural forces, is by using this biomechanical radio?
Looks more like he probably hijacked it.
Oh.
It's a sort of last resort.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Well, I'll
but
relay this to the others.
This looks more like it's set up to be the Black Sun's command center for the campsite in the area between their logistics back into Brook and whatever they're doing out further into the desert.
Okay, can I be searching for papers
That was a good
to try
roll.
and find out where this dig site is?
Yes, you can. You speak German, so I'm just going to say you find it quite quickly. Because
Okay,
they
I
have
read the ones
maps. Yeah.
Yeah. They would need those around the
Site.
desert.
Dig site. But in
Is there
German.
anything else upstairs besides the kind of corridor and that gruesome room?
No, it's sort of an L-shaped room. So the corridor is partially a barracks. There's the stairs coming up, and then it's pretty much beds and equipment lockers. Well, just little chests, metal chests at the foot
I'm
of
gonna stick
all
my head
of
out
their
the door.
beds.
Okay.
And then
Major!
the radio room.
Yeah.
Could you
Yep.
see if you can find any of the stick grenades that the Germans like so much? I think I can do something creative.
Oh,
Sure. I'll have a look. Go through those papers, see if there's anything that's useful to the military as well.
No, I'm bundling them up. Don't worry.
Excellent.
So
if you need a hand, I've got room in my pack.
you, Heinrich, you have one paper that has a mapped route that they follow towards, well, one of the tracks that they follow out towards the well, where the dig site is, and you also have a small, it's a fairly rough sketch, but it seems like they've been trying to make it better, of the actual dig site itself.
Ah, excellent. Well, I will bundle those up and put them in my messenger pouch. Any other
Looking
papers?
for anything
Any
else?
useful indications? Staff lists? Shipping papers?
There's a few old books and things lying around.
Old books, you say? What sort of old books?
You gonna read them?
Yeah, my Uncle Wagner, he was always telling me how useful a library can be.
Ooh, the
no way
words
bad for
seem
your
to
brain.
move on their own. Interesting.
You look
Those
at them
are my
and your head
favorite
explodes.
kind of books. Small price to pay.
A lot of them are about the history of the area, and a couple of pages about the history around Tobruk have been earmarked.
Oh, okay. Earmarked by the Wehrmacht.
Mm.
I will. Do any of them look particularly well thumbed? Being well read.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damaged spines.
Yes.
There's
Oh, crime!
Go on, go for a spot hidden, just to
Oh God.
see if you can
Could
guess.
Could I join in, even though my spot hidden is literally a like one?
Mine's 25. So
Oh, it's there.
I fail spectacularly.
No, there's
Oh!
yeah.
Presto, on the other hand.
I just succeed.
Well
You're
done.
looking at all these books and they all look pretty well read, but Presto manages to pluck one of them out, where the spine appears to have been held open a lot, and so it's kind of cracked a bit around the seam. Sacrilege, but there you go.
Yes.
Is there no end to their crimes?
I shall open
Add
the
it
book.
to the list.
Oh, well, actually, there's an easy way. What does the cover of the book say? Is it one of these books that has a cover? Or...
It's in German.
I shall hand.
Oh,
the
what
book
do you
to
have
Heinrich.
there, Presto? Oh, thank you.
I don't know. It
Oh,
looks
good.
well read, though.
Good find. Oh no, it's very good. I was looking for that, and
It is a classical era history of the region.
Oh.
What are the Major and Busby up to at the moment?
I'm going down to search the German soldiers that we killed for grenades or
Yeah.
other explosives.
And Busby is just, he's reconnoitering the area outside, checking on the charges and making sure that nobody is approaching the area.
Mm.
He's using it as an excuse to stay as far away as humanly possible from what was in that communications room, but he's diligently looking for the enemy.
Busby, can you roll a spot hidden? Or a listen, whatever you'd prefer.
A nine
A
under
9.
75.
Wow.
That'll do it.
This is this the week of all the critical rolls? That just
Hand
there.
granata, that's it.
You hear something first as you're looking sort of out of the gate in the area you came from, but fairly far back, so maybe like probably 200-300 yards away, you can see the reflection of what's probably eyes. They're fairly low down though.
I forgot about that thing.
Yeah, you did.
So Busby will back up towards the entrance, and he'll yell under the Major. Major, that thing that was chasing us out in the desert, I think it's almost here. It's only a few hundred yards out.
Okay. While he was doing that, did I find any grenades or explosives?
Yeah. Go on, roll a d6. We'll see how many grenades you get.
SS, they'll have like 8 just all off of it.
I could basically say that every one of them has a couple of grenades on them, but that seems like a lot of grenades. But you can definitely have 4 grenades. Yeah,
it's a 4.
All right,
it's a 4.
I'll take them to Heinrich.
They were fully equipped, so yeah, no, it's fairly. Yeah.
Is there anything of the equipment that we think may be of use, Presto?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Didn't I need to make a roll for that? Or I mean, I can't imagine. None of this is portable. This is like 1940s radio technology, so I don't imagine
it's fairly. It's a big radio set as well. It's like one made for a command center rather than
exactly.
the short range ones that you carry in a backpack.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But you could potentially examine the corpses or the radio set itself if you really want.
Yeah, I'll do that. What would that require? Another occult?
An occult roll. Yeah.
Because if it's no, it'd be operative machinery. That's not what.
Cthulhu mythos.
Of fucking course!
Oh!
Oh my
damn
days.
Oh, Presto!
I regret everything.
He rolled 100, people. He rolled 100.
Critical failure.
Unless someone wants to be very nice and give Presto a reroll. I'm sure someone
wait
does.
a little bit.
Definitely not stalling.
No, let's just go like this.
So while Presto's looking at
I could do my roll as well. Why don't I
do your roll?
why don't I do mine and also get 100? I got 90.
Well,
no,
you
you.
I just failed.
Presto. Yeah, you're both walking up to it and you're trying to examine these corpses that are still leaking fluids and anointing oils, seemingly, and there's a faint whiff of sulfur about them as well.
Actually made me shudder.
And Presto, you're sort of drawn to these connections that they've made somehow between flesh and machine, and it feels occulty to you, just the sense of it. So you're looking at it closer and closer, and then before you realize it, almost by reflex, you sort of reach out and touch one of the strands connecting to a long thin nerve that's been pulled out of flesh. And as you do that, a small spark runs up
nice 2 rerolls now.
Too late.
Runs up its spine, and the head just sort of snaps around and the eyes stare at you. So you lose a point of sanity for that. Well, you can roll for it, but
I'll roll.
But it was a critical fail.
Yeah,
you're right. You just jump back, and the head sort of lolls there, staring at you for a second, and then it falls flat again.
Millie's also given myself, Aldine, and Aaron. And you. Everyone's got a reroll.
Ooh,
apart from
I
Nigel,
like
has 2.
rerolls.
Yes.
Make a note of that. Thank you.
There you go. And Heinrich, you jump as well, but you're a bit further from it and not actually holding on to it at the time. So
It moved. It's not good. Okay. I'm going to start placing grenades very, very close.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just like those experiments. It's like Frankenstein. Yeah, it's fine. Just the electricity brought to life for a second.
How is that fine?
It's fine. Frankenstein has a happy ending, right? I never finished the book.
Outside.
The desecration of graves and creating of new unholy life. Fine.
Well, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound very fine.
How are you doing? Is the major rolling up outside as well yet? Or
Heinrich,
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
rolled up. Oh, okay.
Busby's moved back inside the building and is posted up, so he's got a clear line of shot at the front door, and he's yelling at the Major. I don't know what that thing is, Major, but it was coming on us.
I'll basically go down and watch the doors.
yeah.
Wrap it up quickly, lads. We've got to
It's-
move.
Yeah, we're going
quite
to just
quiet
blow
outside.
this shit up.
Yeah,
Cause
I think
enough
we've got
now.
everything. We've got the book, don't we? The one that we found
Yeah.
about the local
Were
history.
there any
and
vehicles outside?
Yes.
Were there any
Land,
what?
we got-
sorry?
Were there any vehicles outside when we had a look?
Not really. Which
None,
is strange.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is strange.
that is very strange. Gee, that's a lot of trust there. Yeah, we're gonna take all the vehicles. We'll come back. We swear.
In the desert, and we'll be back in a bit.
Good luck. We left you some water.
Yeah, let's fill our canteens before we move. That thing is out there,
Trust
but
the
we've got,
Nazi water? No.
we've got to get the hell out of here.
Well, we've got the information, so we should be good.
I'd like to place some additional charges around the occult radio system, please.
Feel free
Using
to.
the grenades that
Yeah.
the Major has rustled up.
Yeah. And that combined with what you're using to take out the actual building itself structurally, I'm going to say you've still got half a sack of explosives left.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, if you just want us to wreck up that radio, I mean, they've got a lot of MP40s around here.
Yeah, I just want to be really sure that no one is going to turn that thing on again. It's fine. Well, I have plenty more booms. It's okay.
So that thing out there, whatever it is, is it like out there, or do you think we have time to get to the Kugel wagon and just drive on out of here?
I don't know, Presto. It was only about 300 yards off. If it's coming in, it's going to get here before we get back there. That's for sure.
Oh fuck!
Well,
okay.
we can't stay here.
Yeah.
No,
because then
this
it will
place
just
is about
wait
to
us
blow
out.
up. We got
Oh,
like
yeah.
7
Yeah.
minutes now.
Even
Okay.
if it wasn't the SS are going to come back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. Yeah. This is a horrible situation we're in. Okay.
Their vehicles aren't there, so there is a good chance someone will come back at some point.
Did the German soldiers that I searched have like torches on them?
Oh, that's
Because
Do you want
I'm
a torch?
assuming,
Yeah, you
I'm assuming
can.
Busby
Have,
and I will certainly have one, but
Yeah, I've got
yeah,
I don't know.
you can
about
have
the other
a
two.
couple of spare torches if you want, and
Have you fellas got a torch?
go.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
I will pass the German
I have some
torches to the
incendiaries.
two of
Does that count?
No, Heinrich, that does not. That's not. That's not.
them. Wouldn't last long enough, mate.
Ah, okay.
Take this.
Oh,
I'll
thank you.
hand him a torch.
Yeah, German flashlight.
Right, we need to get the hell out of here.
Hey,
Okay.
Major, I'll run point if you want me to.
Scout the way, I'll cover.
Clear, sir.
You two move on our signal. I'll say looking at Presto and Heinrich.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
good to go.
okay.
Yep.
Clock is ticking. Yeah.
So as Busby makes
So-
his way out, he's listening and looking to see if that
Yep.
thing has made any movement towards the building.
Yeah, you have an eerie sense of being watched, but you can't see the eyes anywhere anymore.
Hey, Major, I know that thing is here somewhere. I can feel it. It's crawling up my back, but I can't see it.
Right, well, let's just keep moving.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
Keep your eyes out, gentlemen.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyone want to roll a spot hidden while they're running?
I do.
You don't have to.
No.
I won't force you.
I tried.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, not even Busby made it. Spend some luck, Busby.
I'll spend the 4 luck to make
Oh,
that.
okay. If somebody's gonna spot then.
Oh, I nearly made it. If only I wasn't terrible at this skill.
So I spent
yeah.
the 4 luck to get a success.
Busby, as you're running or moving fastly, You can hear some slight rustling from something over to the right hand side of you, but you're out into sort of more of the desert area now. It's quite open.
So as Busby's moving, he pivots that direction. He goes, Major, something, it's over here somewhere. I can hear it.
I'm assuming I don't see anything if I look over.
No. It's mostly a noise at this point.
Yeah, if I've no idea where he's pointing, I'll say, just keep going.
Yes, sir.
And we'll move with relative speed.
Yeah.
With purpose.
Is it first trying to be stealthy, or are we just running for the car?
I think we're
I
running.
think it's just running for the...
Okay.
Well,
That's what
that's
was doing.
I'd say we're jogging at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving tactically.
Flat out run.
You two are jogging.
Tactical one.
Us two
We're
are running.
Yeah, we're running.
But yeah, as
Same speed, though.
you reach the Kubelwagen, you're still all uncomfortably aware that something is probably out there watching you.
Right,
It
get in, let's get
seems to
moving.
be intact as you get into it.
Seems to be intact.
So
Yeah.
Busby jumps in, fires up the vehicle, and says, "All right, Major, where are we headed to?"
I have the map. Major, maybe you can make use of this.
Sure.
Surely Commando training covers reading maps.
I think so.
I pay other people
Although,
to read
would
maps.
Fieldcraft work?
Fieldcraft would apply to
Fieldcraft.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a look at the map.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Trying to think. It's probably
Navigate.
first or second week of here's how you read a map.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what they do, but in the skills list, it's like navigate.
To be fair,
10.
it is in German, so I imagine.
Yeah, but it's the same kind of.
We are here, I believe, and this part where it says super secret, top secret, big dig is where we want to be going.
God, that would be
It's
a
fairly
monster
obvious because
word
it's the
in
same
German.
kind
it's all done in
of
Gothic,
topographical
copper plate.
ordnance
I mean,
map that
yeah,
you'd
the symbols and
that you'd
everything are
have
the same.
anyway.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Heinrich goes, that's where it is. That's where I'll navigate
Yeah.
us to.
And it's got an actual path.
Yeah,
One
they
of
have
the
marked the
desert
paths
paths.
that they
marked
take,
out
and
as well.
I don't know how much we want to stick to that.
Well, we'll take it until we get a bit close, and then we'll
Least
move on
likely to be
like we did
mines.
before.
So Busby puts the car in gear and drives off into the night.
Mhm. Yeah.
Bye. Oh no, but
There we go. So you're driving for a bit when the
I
path
spy with my
moves to a sort of ridge line on both sides coming up. Anyone want to roll a spot hidden here?
Oh yeah, in a body. Oh no ambush here. Let's try this one again.
Use 1920 characters.
Why are you
That's-
1920 character?
Why are we all 1920 characters?
I don't know.
I'm not sure which one I am.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll roll spot
I was-
hidden.
Although
I was.
Oh, I got an 8, and I know that because I passed.
I passed because it's telling me I passed on my character.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I
was the-
didn't.
I was
Everyone
the one
else
who got,
did.
Yeah, I got the 26 under 75 because 75 is my skill rate, so I know that.
But the rest of us all have 25, so we're just like,
I did not pass.
okay.
I'm going to say that's me.
Okay. Yeah. So Busby passed.
Yes, with a
You're,
hard success.
yeah, you're driving along when you see the glint of something from up on the ridge line. It's
Major, there's
not
something up on
quite
the ridge
a glint. It's something that feels, because it's still dark out, but there's Looks hard and metallic.
Oh, like a glint of a skull.
Hey, Major, there's something up there on the ridge line. Looks like we may be running into some trouble up there. What's that? I should pull over.
How far away from the site are we?
You're still about 10-15 kilometers out.
So from the map, is there like a big bend coming up in the road, or is it just literally a straight down canyon?
It's fairly straight down, yeah.
Let's dismount and go find out what it is.
Yes, sir. So, pull over, kill the power.
Yeah. The moment you get out, a shot rings out and ricochets off of the Kugelwagen.
Take cover.
How far away is that from where we are?
Probably somewhere around. Let me have a look. I will give you a very accurate idea.
Roll firearms to calculate the trajectory and distance and velocity and all that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. No. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fairly like it's sort of mid-range-ish for a rifle. But the moment it goes off, a bunch of other rifles start joining in.
Oh, scheiße.
And they don't seem to have quite noticed that you've dismounted yet, so they're mostly targeting the Kugelwagen, which is getting pelted by rifles as you dive out.
Shit. Were we?
Unless they brought a car, in this case we need their car.
Were we told about? I guess this is somewhat calm for being shot at. Were we told about resistance or partisan movements in the area? Was that something? Because it feels weird that they would just have a bunch of people with guns not too far from the SS base.
Shooting at German cars.
Yeah.
Do we hear any voices or just gunfire?
Quickly, Albrecht, say something in German. Wait, no, don't.
Mostly gunfire at the moment, but yeah, you could try shouting.
Can I shout ceasefire in Arabic?
You can, yeah, sure.
I will shout ceasefire in Arabic.
Shoot more. Oh no.
Oh damn, my teacher.
And then change position, because they'll probably target where the noise came from.
Briefly, sort of, yeah, it dies down for a second, and then a shot rings out to where you were standing and hits the sand. And you can hear some vague murmuring from up on the ridge.
Well, I think you got their attention.
This might be a long shot, but would Bugsby be a better person? Because, like, I mean, Bugsby, no offense, you're the least German thing out here, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I feel like an Australian is also fairly far from a German in accents.
Well, that's true. Actually, and everyone but Albrecht should speak. Actually.
I don't see why I can. I'm Austrian. Surely they can tell the.
Is anyone else shouting, or are you just running for cover?
Busby will yell out in English. He's like, "You mooks, I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna give one for you if you're gonna keep up this." And then he moves out and dives into cover and starts actually moving his way stealthily up the ridgeline.
As you do that, you also you hear some shouting from the other side as well. Someone's bellowing over the gunfire. Arrête! Pourquoi? Je pense qu'ils sont anglais.
French.
Anglais. French. And then, for a moment,
speak a bloody word in the lingo.
Everything goes very, very quiet, and then you hear some slight murmuring. One of them goes, "Je vais demander," and you see a white Capri flip over the top of the ridge line, and a soldier with a pistol out slides towards you, smoking a cigarette.
Oh, definitely French.
Yeah, definitely French.
Is he eating an onion as well?
No, he's pointing it at you. He looks rather. His uniform is all white, well, mostly
Louche.
white, and a bit.
Quite louche.
He looks
Assuming I-
bit of
disdainful
khaki,
Assuming I
but
recognise
he
the
looks-
language as French.
Yeah, but it looks rather worn, like he's had it on for probably the better part of the war. And he looks rather bedraggled as well. He's got big beard and scars and burns across.
With his Gaulois, though. So,
Lean towards the others. Do any of you speak French?
9.
But surely they'll speak something other than just French. They look...
Have you met the French?
I don't know.
He walks up to you with his pistol out, still pointed at you, but sort of in that casual 1920s, 1940s film style where they have
Everyone
it like
look
in a
casual.
hip shot. And goes,
Oh shit, we're still dressed up as like an Italian officer.
No,
He-
no.
we
Oscar
changed
and I
our-
are.
yeah, no. He
Yeah, but
looks
not
at
not me and Albrecht.
Oh,
each of you and goes, Anglais? English?
Well,
Ah,
actually,
I'm not a Pom, but I speak it.
Actually, I'm American, but that's, yeah, we're the Allies.
So he looks at you and goes, so American, Australian, Scottish, and you?
In the SS,
Not much of a talker then.
This is a
Aye.
disguise. Don't worry, we don't actually. Yeah.
What brings you out here?
We're off to hit a enemy facility.
Well, you seem dressed for the occasion. We mistook you for some foxes.
Well,
Well.
it seemed like the best way to blend in, you know what I'm saying?
When you're moving through enemy territory, it's easier to look like them.
It seems like a fairly good plan. And he waves to the ridge line, and about 10 other legionnaires stand up with their rifles.
There's 10 of them. We didn't die. Oh, I guess they were out shooting the truck now.
But I mean, it is pretty dark.
That is-
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
very
that
dark,
too.
and they probably weren't expecting anyone to go.
a little bit of a
They've just been
surprise,
sitting
really.
there the whole time, like, someone will come through eventually.
Mhm.
So, Major,
What
what
are
are
you-
we gonna do here?
What are you fellas doing out here?
I imagine the same thing as the rest of the Allied armies. We've been fighting the Germans.
Oh,
We
good.
took an Italian fort deeper out in the desert, and we've been using it to run raids and hit the pigs as they travel down the roads.
Well,
Out of curiosity,
good work.
how long have you been doing that? Like 3 years? Like since the start of the war, by the looks of it?
Yeah, you can pretty much tell by the uniforms they've been out in.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay, well, good credit to
There's-
them.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of historical references. Of,
No, I know.
Legionnaires.
Wow. God.
I mean, on the map that Heinrich found, were there any other German installations on there that weren't of particular interest to us?
Yeah, there's the actual Black Sun compound wasn't too far from one of the airfields. And also it's sort of in between the rows of fortresses, far
Well,
enough
there's-
away that there's not really much through traffic, but things going towards the airfield wouldn't necessarily pass the compound, but may use the adjacent roads.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't have any supplies we could give you to help, but we can give you some information.
That would always be useful.
If you've got a map, I can point out a couple of crowd installations.
Ah. He beckons one of his other soldiers over and pulls out, even bigger beard, more bushy, even more scars.
At this point.
Basically, other
He
than
was
the
here
one
for the first World War.
other than the one that
Never
we're
mind.
interested in, I will start marking out German things and any information we know about them
I'll
on their
help
map.
So,
without talking.
yeah. In the meantime, he asks, so what direction are you lot going in?
Whatever compass direction we were going.
Not giving him a destination.
No.
We're allies.
He,
We're not against each other, everything.
no, but he looks at you and nods, and he goes, then you may be interested to know, we've been chasing a platoon of pigs coming back from that way quite recently. They seemed in a big hurry. We only got a few shots off before they steamed past.
Going which way?
Points out back towards Tobruk. Roughly that direction. Quite quickly.
Oh, that's good then. They were running away from stuff.
Going
Oh,
away.
That's
Running
not
away.
good for something. Just said that out loud.
Well, they might be going to that last place we were.
Yeah,
They're
we
going to
just
find
blew
a
up.
big. They'll find a big hole if they get there.
You probably would have passed them.
Act. Oh,
No, it was
shies.
more than half a day ago now. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe
I
almost
say,
a day.
how interesting.
I don't know where they went, but
Nods at Heinrich and goes, Austrian. Sort of note that his pistol is still pointing towards you.
It's normal.
That's just France and Austria.
well, any one of the buggers you can shoot is one less that we have to. So, be my guest.
Well, we were still on our pig hunt, so we'll see what we can do.
Hey, if you don't get round to hitting any of them, that's up to you. I just thought if you do need targets, it's always useful to have some.
Sorry,
Major, should we
sorry
should
about
we
the
be
car,
hitting the
though.
road?
How damaged is the car?
Has anyone got any mechanical skills, or
I actually have 10%.
in extremis? I'll
I think we
let
all
you
have
roll.
10%.
I've
Yeah,
got
I'll let you
I've got
roll drive auto if.
I've got a 35 in mechanical
Yep.
repair.
Oh, there we go.
Give it a go, and you'll.
We'll see.
It's mostly
Got a
to
10.
see what.
All right, I'll spend the 15 luck to make that
Oh,
a success.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I was going to have a go.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let us have our go. There.
Everyone.
Oh, I'm going to spend 2 luck and
Okay.
I'm going to succeed.
Okay,
Cool.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Ah.
It's better that way that we're not like blowing
Or I
that
could
much.
push
Yeah.
it and potentially blow up the car.
No, don't.
That's a possibility.
Okay, I've spent my 2 luck and I have
Oh
succeeded.
wow, you can put it on the thing.
Yeah, if you click on the number you get, sorry, this is very boring for those at home because they can't see it. It gives you a number of options, and one of those is spend luck. One of them is actually push it, and the other
Yeah.
one is
I
spend
didn't
your
know
luck.
that. Interesting.
Pushing is fun. You should all try that more.
I tried that last time. It went very well.
No, yeah, it is mostly damage to the frame itself.
I'm
The
more used to
tires
blowing
still
these
seem
things up.
alright, and you think
So
it'll
it's
probably
usable.
get where it's going. Yeah.
I think it will run at least far enough,
Yeah, they made these things to get shot at, so it's fine.
just as well.
Well, as long as he can get us there, hopefully they'll have something to get us home again.
The main
Yes,
conclusion is if
think
you'd
you're
have been
going home.
sitting in it
Oh, okay.
when it was shot at, you wouldn't
Bad
have.
times.
Yeah, wouldn't have been sitting in it for very much longer. Well, you would have, but just dead. Yeah.
So Busby will get back in and fire it up. He's like, all right, Major. Looks like it's running.
The French Legionnaire captain waves to you, gives you a
Bonchance!
little salute, I guess, happy hunting, and then
Viva
they
la
all
France!
creep up.
You two, let's get the crowds.
Go on then. Then the rest of them give you all a big Viva la France! Viva la République! just for the fun of it. Who said Call of Cthulhu couldn't be full of beautiful moments like that? Yeah.
They're all beautifully skylined, waving the flag.
Wandering off into
it's
the
the
desert.
same flag they've had. So there's a lot of holes in it.
Yeah.
Very worn and torn, and yeah. Most of the blue's gone and the red's in patches. And oh. Yeah, right. So you're just gonna continue on?
Before we head off and before the Legionnaire disappears, I will say, do you know about anything further up? Is there anything we should look out for?
There's a camp up there. Something. I don't know what they're doing. They seem to be digging or something, but no one.
Very boring.
None of we have some local fighters and guides and things, and none of them will go up near the place. None of them will touch it.
Right. Oh, well.
That's a good sign.
Cheers for the heads up. Right.
Bon chance.
Are we driving with the lights on or off?
Off.
Off.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why Bugsby's driving, because we might actually need to make some kind of maneuver at some point.
No, that's fine. I will not be reading the book by torchlight then.
Do you want to read the book now?
We want to be
You've got
moving.
about 15 kilometers before you get there. So do you want to read the book before you get there, or
In the darkness.
But it's dark.
Well, check.
I don't want to put a light on.
Yeah, we'll put the torch.
I can put my coat over it.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Do a little light.
Like
All
you're
right, yes, I will do that.
reading
I
a
will
book
read
at
the
night.
book with the
Okay.
moving words and the eldritch horror with a coat over my head.
History.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, everyone just sees Heinrich in a coat shaking and screaming.
Well, his head goes explode.
Yeah, stuff like grabbing him from the book.
Tentacles coming out all sides.
Oh, perfectly fine.
Seems like a fairly boring book about the area around Tobruk and Tobruk itself throughout history, but mainly starting with sort of ancient Greece and Roman history, which seems to be the focus. There's also a lot about the rest of Libya itself and North Africa, but the earmarked pages appear to be about Antipyrgos, which is what Tobruk was called back then, and yeah.
And what are they telling me?
Well, you'd have to roll your library use skill or read what? Yeah, library use.
Read
Go
while
on.
in a moving car skill.
Yeah.
Library? I love Cthulhu. I love the fact Cthulhu has a library use
Library
skill.
use. And library use is a skill that if you don't have a single investigator with it, you're
doomed.
in trouble.
So my occult or my Cthulhu mythos is not going to help at this point. It's all about the library use.
Yeah.
Well, because it's
Just
you're probably
reading
just trying
books.
to read the book. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
anything.
Can I
Oh,
push
Jesus.
Yes, if
The
you can
chances
tell
are
me
so
how
Oh,
you're
I was gonna
pushing
say,
it.
can I peek over his under like get
in
under
German.
the coat, and be like,
I think it's in German.
oh yeah.
I get to spend an abysmal amount of luck.
If you can give me a
Nice,
reason of
28.
how you can push it.
I don't know how I can push it.
there's not really much you can do
You can have
with reading
28
a
luck
book.
to spend.
Oh yeah, I got loads.
Oh,
Of I got buckets
I-
of it.
I only got 18.
You have a re-roll.
And I had,
True.
it seems
Oh,
like a waste
Was
of
it,
a
wait,
re-roll,
for
though.
luck, am I meant to add the luck I had on previously as well?
Yes,
Does it
yeah.
count?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not just your.
that's-
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I have so little of
God.
it then. Okay, well now I have 26 luck.
Okay. That. How did I end up with 5 luck?
rolled badly. I'm going to spend the luck. What do I find?
Okay, well now I don't feel as silly.
The first bit that is a lot of the start is about the first earmark pages are about the Greek colony of Antipyrgos. And then there's a small paragraph in there that your eyes fall on about a group of seers from Greece who travelled to the colony and had some kind of vision there and then walked off promptly into the desert, never to be seen again.
Out to presto.
Yes.
Come under the coat.
Okay, right. Okay.
This is all very boring, but this bit I think may be pertinent.
Okay.
And I will I will translate their passage for him.
Okay, Seers, Ancient Greece, gotcha.
Does this
Do you wanna-
seem like a vision?
Roll a cult? Would this be a cult? Or is this not... Would this be more like history or like... I don't know.
What have you got?
Well, I'd rather roll a cult, which is 85%.
Okay, go on
History is
then.
5%.
Maybe not that one then. I want to roll my mythos. Whoa!
Oh,
That is
6.
6. Wow.
success.
After that, there's a paragraph about people going into the desert to build a temple there.
Oh.
At first glance, it's several paragraphs away, but you, time-wise, you get just purely because of the location, you get a sense that it's connected to these seers that walked off. Yeah. And yeah.
So they had the vision, and then they wandered off into the desert and built a temple.
As you do. Yeah.
Under
That
the
seems
ground.
normal for around here, right?
Seems normal for Greek seers at the time to just, I had a vision, let's build a temple.
Yeah.
But-
Have you noticed how so much of this happens in the desert with people who don't wear hats?
Yeah, there might be a correlation. So, if I'm
You-
thinking carefully, I'm saying this to the other two as well. It's possible that this temple they're describing could be the site. So, I don't know. There's really what else to go on from there.
Do you want to read more of the book?
Oh,
Yeah,
No, I
we
was
stop at
reading.
one of the
Anyway.
pages and just feel like, oh.
we're done now. Whatever.
Go on then. Keep reading.
Or library, do you?
Yeah.
You're really fighting your boredom. Like, it's one of those.
It's very dryly written.
Oh yeah, like
No.
for those of you who don't know, if you've ever read a book from a history book, especially one from like the 70s or 80s, it's super dry. They just love writing about the most granular of stuff.
And this is
It's-
probably even older than that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
It's like-
this is definitely well.
There's about 20 paragraphs describing
High
the
German.
temple. Yeah, but not like just these physicalities.
This
Oh, God.
book, Heinrich, you notice, is actually a translation of an older text that they've uncovered somewhere. So, yeah, it's definitely very old, and then they've written it out in German
Oh, this is not the
and
original.
added some information to it as well
Yeah.
here and there. And a lot of what you're reading is the information that they've added to it to show off how much they know about the area.
Yeah, it's like reading a footnote.
Yeah.
On a
And
footnote.
so it's getting very tedious and boring, and you get to the Roman era of occupation of the area, and at that point your brain just starts to switch off. Unless you're going to re-roll that, or
no.
Yeah, and I can't do anything with it. I can't do anything with it.
I will put it in my pocket, and we will return this to M, and then our researchers can make the best use of it.
okay.
If
So,
I read
yeah.
anymore, I'm going to throw up.
I'll take a boredom test. Check, sorry.
Anyone in the front want to roll a spot hidden again?
I do.
We're both under
Just
a
make
coat.
sure that.
Reading a book.
Reading a book.
He just keeps going on about the Centurion's helmets. It's so dumb.
He both was.
Hey.
Yeah. Busby picks it up first and sort of nudges the major, and you both spot the same sort of shimmering eyes in the distance as you drive past and leave it behind a bit. But that's probably the second time now that you've spotted it on the road.
Major,
Or
I don't know if
something
that's
similar.
I don't know if that's the same thing or not. If it is, it moves very fast. Otherwise, there's a whole pack of these things out there.
Oh, I think it must be a different one. I couldn't keep up all this time.
I hope not, but after what we saw in that communication room, I got no bets on what they could do out here.
Oh god, that's an awful thought.
Wow.
There's either more of them or it just doesn't run out of steam. They're both terrible thoughts.
Well, I don't know what these crowds are doing, but either way, we're going to go in there and make sure they don't do it anymore.
That's the spirit, Major. Let's take it to those krauts.
At this point, yeah, you're. How far out do you want to stop from
About
the
another
dig site?
kilometre.
So at this point, yeah, you're coming up towards the escarpment itself. Well, it's sort of the second one out further back from Tobruk. But it's getting significantly more rocky around you, and in the distance you can see the escarpment sort of building up in front of you. You're probably about 1 kilometre out now-ish. But the location on the map, the topographical ordnance map that you've retrieved, indicates that the well is up there somewhere, and also the dig site. And
So Busby starts looking for a good place to pull the car off where it can be, somewhat screened from the road.
yeah, sure. Yeah, you can park it behind an outcropping or something off from the road, so that you know where it is and it won't be seen by people driving back and forth unless they're looking for it.
Yeah, from there then we'll move out on foot.
Yeah, Major, I recommend maybe I scout a little ahead just in case. I'm not saying, Presto and Heinrich, that you guys are a little noisy when you walk, but Presto, you might be a little noisy when you walk.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I have 2 flat feet. That's why they never.
Just stay in my eyesight, yeah?
Yeah, that's fair.
I meant Busby.
Yeah.
You're staying close to me, Presto.
No, we're meant to be behind the major.
I got you, sir. Do you want me to make a field craft check or anything as I...
Yep, you can do.
19 under 94. So
It is very strangely quiet.
Okay, well,
You can't spot any sentries out there either.
the rest of us are also going to try and move
yeah.
quietly.
Yes.
Sneaky.
Yeah, but you're moving at a fairly decent pace, and so far you haven't really seen anything that's alerted you or concerned you in any way.
2 flat feet.
Who rolled the 98?
That would be
Idiot
flat
thing.
feet 8.
Well, yeah, you kick over a bunch of rocks, and as you're moving up the escarpment, they sort of. You hear
ghosting up this thing.
It is very, very, very quiet, so you hear them tumble all the way down and pick up a few colleagues on the way down.
Busby immediately takes a knee and he's like, looks back at Preston. He's like, "Shh."
Sorry. I think they gave me the wrong German-sized boots. These are too big.
How are you all feeling at the moment, anyway?
I'd be probably a bit tense, but not panicky yet.
Focused, I'd say.
Yeah, Busby's focused on the mission, but he's scared out of his wits after what he saw in that communication room. But he's holding it together because his commando training, he's ready for just about anything. Just about.
Almost.
Now that you've stopped a second, you're also becoming slowly aware that it's rather cold here as well. Like, not just desert at night cold, it's getting colder as you move up.
So Busby, he waves the group up to where he's got a need. He whispers like, "Major, I don't know what's going on here, but there's something wrong here. The air is wrong. Presto, this is your thing. What's going on here?"
I mean, some supernatural phenomena can induce the temperature to drop. You know, when a ghost is in a room and it feels colder.
Oh, the entropic effect. Yeah, I've read this.
I mean, can I roll a cult? I feel like it's kind of a...
If you want, yeah, sure.
Oh god, this fact.
Is there any natural phenomena that could explain why this would happen? With my knowledge of the desert.
I'll spend a
Well,
lot on that. It's literally
gets kind of cold in the desert at night.
No, I get that. I was just trying to see if
but this is
justify this temperature.
It's getting kind of chilly, and you're all maybe not quite dressed well enough for.
Yes, I did. I just barely succeeded.
Yep. Okay.
So, is it the entropic effect? Like it's like a ghostly kind of thing? Not ghost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely feels wrong, but that's the sense that everyone has about it. But if it is, then it's very powerful.
Okay.
Because it's still it's an entire area that seems to be blanketed with this cold.
Is the effect going to get stronger as we get closer, do you think, Presto?
Probably, because the way the entropic effect in Mabob works is that the closer you get to the thing creating it, the colder you get. Hey, it's called pseudoscience for a reason. Most scientists don't treat it with any credence. So yeah, the closer we get to whatever's making it, the colder it's gonna get. I would advise we move quickly because it's gonna only get colder from here. Unless the commandos know how to deal with the cold. I don't know.
All right, Major.
Well, if they're British commandos, they love rolling about in the cold mud. So
you feel at home here. It calms them down. The pair of them. It's nice and cold now.
I'm training in the mountains. It's and in the Arctic apparently.
Yeah, there you go. This is a warm day for you still.
I still have the incendiaries if anyone gets too cold.
As you're moving up the ridgeline, it's still deathly silent, and it's cold. And with the cold, each tiny tingle of cold, extra cold that you feel, it gets a little bit. Is it darker around you?
Oh no!
Is it absorbing all of the energy in the area?
Air feels a bit moist, maybe as well.
Cold and moist. The Scottish have a word for this. They call it weather.
We call it Tuesday.
I think it's time to get the code out of the pack. Yeah, the coat will be coming out now.
And Major, this is just I know, I keep telling you that, Major, this is not right. I mean, I knew there was weird stuff out there, but this is, I don't know what we're getting ourselves into here, Major.
I mean, do we have a radio? That's all, like a,
I
pack
think
radio.
one of you brought
Yeah, I've got one.
one. Yeah, because
Busby is the radio operator.
yeah,
I mean,
Who
if there's-
just calls this in and has them bomb it?
that's kind of the plan. If there is something there that we can't deal with, the RAF will.
Okay, do we want to call it in now before we can't?
just like
We need confirmation. We don't want to risk the pilots.
Okay, yeah, it's sensible.
All right, Major, we'll keep going.
As we kind of move up, I'll move up right next to Busby and very quietly say, if this goes south, get out, call in the bombers.
Yes, sir. I'll take care of it if it goes that south.
Keep that between us.
Yes, sir.
Lean across
As
Presto, go,
you-
Presto, I have fired myself with explosives. If this goes south, just hug me.
Right. Don't tell the others.
No,
That will be
don't tell
hugging.
the
The
others.
blowing up is their way around.
as you're having these little private conversations and moving forwards, you realize that the darkness around you is mostly coming from a mist that seems to be just sort of human height level as you go up. It's getting fairly dense now as well.
Oh, dear. I cannot be.
This seems unnatural.
It does seem unusual that the mist is on the high ground here rather than the low.
Ain't nothing about this Heinrich that seems natural. I don't.
Let's just keep going.
But
How,
yeah,
how far do I estimate we are from
you're
the
closing in
objective?
on the camp now. You'd probably be expecting to at least start, well, if there wasn't mist, start spotting patrols or sentries out from about here on, and definitely anyone they've left further out to give them a bit of a buffer on.
All right, I'll basically give the word to from here on in silence, and we'll move in as stealthily as we can.
So now you're all moving through the creepy cold mist in absolute silence.
Yes.
And so far you haven't heard or seen a single person.
Which seems wrong.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Boy.
For the first time in a long time, Busby is actually saying prayers in his mind. Yeah, he is utterly on the verge of panic. This is just so far outside of his area of understanding.
There is some light skittering around you as you notice dust starting to get blown up. So there's a wind picking up as well the closer you get to the campsite.
And a mist.
Yeah,
Busby,
The nice thing about Call of Cthulhu is that none of the weather needs to make sense.
No,
yeah.
Nope.
that's
Yeah,
Ridley Space Gods for
continue
you.
moving forward with caution
Yeah.
and silence.
Yeah, you're
That.
pretty much approaching the camp now, and you haven't seen a single soul. The wind's whipping around you a little bit. You can see probably 10 to 15 yards ahead of you.
Make out any structures?
You're coming towards a dip where they've started digging out, and they look like there are shadows beyond that, which are probably wall structures from the temple, maybe.
We had the sketch of the dig site, didn't we?
Yeah.
Does that show any buildings or?
Yeah, they've been excavating, so part of the upper temple area, they've got some of the walls out, but it's not really dug quite deeply down. They seem to be looking for a specific area. So they've dug up walls and rooms and gone, it's not here, and
there.
moved on.
What about side buildings? Tents, structures, anything?
Yeah, there should be plenty of those around the dig site.
Take the word
Should be.
I
and we still
don't know
haven't
what you
seen a
mean.
single person.
So
No.
Busby will whisper directly in the Major's ear. He's like, Major, do you want me to try to find, search through the camp first, or are we going into the dig site?
You're almost on top of the dig site now, and there's a few loose tents moving, like blowing in the wind, but they seem empty and abandoned. And for the rest, there's no one around. And just beyond that, the steps they've dug out that go down into the hollow where the dig site itself is.
Can we kind of move around the outside the camp, trying to basically get a good look? We're not just going to go straight in. We kind of want to circle around, having a look.
I'll let you do that. Do you mind if we take a quick human admin
5
break? Yeah. So we'll see you all in in about 5 minutes, everyone, for the second part of episode 3. Thank you for watching.
We're
See
all
you
still
in a
alive!
minute.
So
Nice.
far.
So far.
So far,
And you have
yeah.
re-rolls.
That is nice. The
That
rerolls
is,
are
that
nice.
is
It does.
lovely.
And we are back for the second part of episode 3.
Everything
Where
goes
our
fine.
intrepid investigators / mass murderers of evil Nazis have managed to make their way to the campsite and the dig site beyond it. So you're scouting around the outsides of it now at the moment then?
Yeah, so we're moving as a group,
Mhm.
and we're moving around the outside to
Yeah.
see what we can see.
The fog seems thickest within the within that sort of depression where the dig itself has been happening, and mostly you can just see bits of wall that they've delved out, sticking up through it a little bit through the darkness, but at this point the wind's whipping around you as well, so it's fairly noisy but also very silent.
Yeah, so we are going to basically work our way around the entire outside
Mm-hmm.
and see what we can see.
Yep. The outside all seems very quiet, and there doesn't seem to be anyone around.
So even
Do
looking
you want to
in from the
roll
outside.
a spot hidden?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
because I have so much.
Got a 43 under 75, so a success.
Oh, I got a 74 over 25, so that's not a success.
I'll
Not
roll
for
as
me
well.
either.
I'll join in. This is where I crit fail. Okay, no, I just got.
Yeah.
I'm not get, but Aaron succeeded. So
Yeah.
But,
Didn't grab well.
yeah, you mostly all notice. I'm just checking that because it seems weird that the major only has 25 in spot. Oh yeah, you do only have 25 in spot hidden. Okay, then you're good
He
at
has people to do
killing
that for
people,
him.
but you get other people to look for stuff. Yeah.
That's
was a
my
good
job.
idea.
same as the map
Yeah.
reading.
I'm not the
Okay.
scout, I'm the commander.
Really focused on that.
You lead with your fists, not your
Well,
eyes.
just
ears,
focused
or brain.
career officer.
Call that a knife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in a logistics meeting. You call
Busby.
that a knife? Oh.
On the exterior, you do notice an area where probably there was a vehicle pulled before, and there's a lot of scattered footprints around it that were moving. Like someone's taken off with everything that was there in a hurry.
Hey, Major, looks like they skedaddled real quick. Looks like all of them were in a bit of a rush, and they took off in whatever vehicle they had here.
That must be what those Frenchies saw.
It must have been. Based on the tracks here, it doesn't look like they were leaving in any kind of orderly fashion, though. They seem to be a bit panicky here.
I'll look at Heinrich and Presto. What do you two make of this? This is your area.
Bugs running away? Yeah, this is definitely our area.
What? This is all a bit strange here.
I mean,
What do you guys make of down there? And I'll say nodding towards the dig site.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to work out that they clearly unearthed something they did not like the look of and ran. And with what I said prior, clearly something is making this strange weather phenomena, which is probably down there. And whatever it is, it's pretty powerful.
If we can find the epicenter, then we can focus our destructive efforts.
Yes.
Major, I like what Heinrich is saying there. I'd like to focus some destructive efforts.
I agree. If we can find what it is, we set off the charges, and even after we've done that, I think it's time to call in the bombers.
Oh yeah, I think the charges will just be like a targeting flare. Frankly, I don't want to find out what it is. I just want to know where it is.
Well, the flight time for the bombers to get here is going to be hours. Then they'll never get here while if we're still here when they come, something's gone very bloody wrong.
All right, Major, you want me to call it in then?
Call it in.
Jumps on the radio.
Gosh, I hope it works
I
with
will
all these
give him
strange
the most
conditions
detailed
happening in
map
the atmosphere.
coordinates and guidance I can for the mosquito. For the
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is an extreme success.
Your extreme success, unfortunately, quickly informs you that this area is proving difficult to get radio signal through.
Major, I can't get through. I can't get through to anybody. There's some kind of interference. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm on the radio
Because you
too.
had an extreme success, I will say you pretty certain you remember the last time you checked the radio was outside the fog area, and there you did have a signal.
Major, I think I'm gonna have to pull back outside of this fog to get back to get signal. That was the last time I pinged anybody with any success.
How long would it take us to get out of the fog?
It's probably only like 10-15 minute jog.
All right. Let's make the detour. Let's call in the bombers. Then we'll come back. If something goes wrong, this has to not be here anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's got the crowd spooked.
Yeah.
Well, they're a bunch of little livids anyway, but I'm going to be honest, I'm a little spooked myself, Major.
Those SS don't normally spook easily.
No, and the Black
That's
Sun,
true.
they like
They're
messing
too crazy
with
for that.
the spooky shit. So,
Yeah, those crazy bastards don't know what they're doing.
Scheiße.
So you're moving back out of
We're basically moving out until the radio works.
Yeah.
in the same direction you came in,
We
or
don't. Well, if the epicenter is in the excavation, we could just go directly away from that. Would be the quickest way out of the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, sure. So in this case, then you're rather than going back down, you're sort of moving across the plateau area of the escarpment where the burr/well is, and temple and dig site. As you do that, you walk past a tipped over Kubelwagen. Doesn't seem to be anyone inside.
Can we look at the Cooper wagon, see
Yeah.
what did it? Like if it was an explosion or
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
For
sure.
explosions. Another spot hidden.
Or
Because-
Yeah.
there.
Roll demolition.
Or well, I don't know. You can roll.
Mechanical
Yeah,
repair,
it depends
or-
what you're specifically looking for.
Oh,
You
I'm
could
looking
roll
for
something like
explosion marks.
fieldcraft if you're looking for attacks, or demolition if you're looking for explosive damage.
yeah, I guess.
I'll use Fieldcraft to see if.
I use
or-
demolition.
You do that. I'll use mechanical repair if it looks like it was mechanically damaged in it, in case we need it later.
Yeah, I got a 2-star success.
Good call.
Mhm.
Me too.
It.
Doink.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I actually
Nearly.
did not too bad at spot hidden. Then
It-
wait.
Let me save it.
It's only 2 luck.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of luck.
I have 25 luck.
That's not a lot of luck.
Oh, okay. I won't bother then if something else, demolitions and stuff are.
It doesn't look like it was attacked in any way.
It's just on
It
its side.
just
for
looks
fun.
like it has been
Blown
knocked
over?
over. Blown over is
Or
perhaps.
knocked over by something very large.
So
It
there's
could-
no obvious signs of damage, so it's not been.
No, so freak gust of wind.
Okay, let's focus on the mission.
Man,
All right, we'll
German
just continue
engineering
on.
is not good.
Or is there any equipment within the Kubelwagen that could be useful?
Like a Google bargain.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there, just the sort of standard things you would find. What are you looking for exactly?
Well, anything useful, like if there was either any intelligence or even just some basic supplies are always useful.
Supplies, yes. Intelligence, not so much. It doesn't have any papers or documents or anything in it other
Alright.
than sort of standard.
Basically, nab any unopened ration packs, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Stuff to tide us over if we get delayed on the way back, as well as water.
And yeah, after you start walking down a bit further, you start to feel like it's getting a bit warmer as well. And the darkness, the last sort of misty tendrils of the darkness are receding. As you walk through them, you notice that you have beads of dew or something similar.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Don't. Maybe you should look at them quite closely, stare into them. But yeah, all over your arms and hands and
that
face.
was most unpleasant, but it does confirm this theory that the effect is centered on the dig site. Was the word well mentioned in the historical book I read? They just talk about the desert and the temple.
You could have another look at the book, but you think there probably was some mention of it somewhere.
Okay.
Walter speaks Arabic,
We do.
so
But maybe Buzzwing
from
is
the
doing radioing.
from the actual mission briefing, Walter, this place is called Bear Dawar, which Bear meaning well.
Well,
What does the other bit mean?
So it's essentially the well of last resort. But there you go.
Okay.
For people watching at home.
All right. Well, I will relay that to Heinrich. If he
Uh,
wasn't aware. But beer means
okay.
well.
Ah, so in the center of the temple, there is the well, and the well, presto, the well would be the center of this entropic force,
Yes, that is my understanding of the situation. Yeah,
a rift into something else,
possibly. I don't know.
And,
It just, yeah, it just.
but
it's a-
something is absorbing all of the energy and changing the weather manifestation.
Yes, and
And,
it's very powerful.
Is
Okay.
dropping a few £1,000 of high explosives going to help?
Yeah,
Well, I'll definitely upset whoever's done there.
it will help.
Yeah.
It
Good.
will help me anyway.
You're gonna try radioing and then again?
Yeah. So he gets on the radio and
Yeah, sure. It's definitely working now. That you can tell quite quickly.
so I succeed.
Yep.
Just a regular success though.
You get the message out. It's a regular success. So yeah, you get the message out. You're certain that it's gone out. You haven't received anything back, but you know there's a high probability that if this mission is deemed as important as you pretty certain it is, then bombers might well be on their way very soon.
Major, I got it called in, but I didn't get a confirmation or an ETA for the bombers, but I'm pretty certain that they're on their way. So we should skedaddle, get
Yeah, we're
down
on
there and figure it
We're
out.
on the clock now.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's see what we can do.
Set some fires, yeah.
But we need to be clear from here in under 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
So we move quickly back
Go on,
into
then.
the mists and back towards the dig.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you taking the steps down this time?
Looks like it.
Yeah, seeing us moving around
Feel-
the outside didn't do anything, we will cautiously
Yeah.
take the steps down.
Feel free to move down there then.
I don't want
I'm scared.
Scared. He keeps telling me there's a wall in the way.
So, yeah, there are lots of walls. As
Very
you
hard to
move
move the
down,
token.
the moment you moving closer to the bottom, it's pretty dark in there, and like even with a flashlight, your vision distance is getting very close. Well, it's getting very difficult to see too far ahead of you, but you do notice a sort of figure standing around in the darkness.
Hey, Major. We got some kind of contact up here, Major.
Yeah, the gun will be aiming at.
Are you moving towards it?
I'm not.
Identify yourself.
It doesn't make any. Well, it makes normal human standing about noises, but doesn't.
In the name of the king, if you don't identify yourself, I will put you down. If he doesn't respond,
No reply.
I'm pulling the trigger.
A gunshot sounds out
A
across the.
silenced gunshot.
Ah, yeah.
It'll be a burst.
The
a short
figure.
burst.
Deacon's
yeah.
really going to be able to differentiate. I was silent.
The figure stands there for a second, like moving slightly as the Sten burst hits it, and after a fraction of a second, it just slumps onto the ground.
Oh, God.
Major, that was not normal.
It's definitely stayed up longer than you would have expected.
I don't like this. Make it quick.
You want us to keep going
Are you
down? You want me to
gonna-
look at the body?
Well, how far away was the body from us?
Not too far. It's just your vision is really
All right,
close
we'll
in now, like
cautiously
10
approach
yards.
the body with the gun still pointed square at it.
Yeah.
Presto, stay back here with me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
how to get down there.
No,
so.
stay close to us. Vision's short.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
we'll
basically 10-15 yards is everything you can see clearly-ish. And
That's
beyond
close
that,
enough.
you've got
Yeah,
sort of
just
shadows
stay within
and
5 to 10 yards.
yeah.
Okay.
You can still sort of see out to 30, 40 yards maybe, but it's shadows. And yeah. Unfortunately, when you move up to it, you recognize the uniform quite quickly. Looks a bit bedraggled, and there's a shovel next to it. But it's clearly like a British Army uniform.
Shit.
Ew.
Oops.
Do I want to make you roll for sanity for that?
Murdering a fellow combatant.
Fortunately, I'm hardened, so I don't think
Oh,
I have
my.
to worry about that.
Yeah, I know. That was what I was thinking.
If we didn't see it, it's in the mist.
I'll
Can
let
I
you
take-
off.
Can
Why
I
didn't
take
he
a look?
respond?
Yeah, can I take a look at him? Maybe use first aid to try to figure out why he didn't respond to us, or
Yeah.
not that I'm
Tentacles in his ears.
not that I'm gonna
Yeah.
get this roll, but we'll give it a shot. I'll spend the 7 luck to make that a success.
Okay.
Sure, I could have a look. I'm pretty good with this.
You.
He says
Oh.
95
Wow, at
Wow.
out of
95.
87.
We're really good at it.
Yeah. Busby notices. I mean, he looks very dead. It's clearly one of the POWs that they've been using as labor for the extraction. But where the
I guess-
gunshots have hit, he's not really bleeding that much.
Major, this ain't right. This guy, he's not bleeding. His heart was not pumping when you shot him. He was dead on his feet.
What? You have ein zombie?
I'm not. Okay, well, I'm pleased in a way, but what the fuck?
I don't know, Major. This place it just ain't right.
I'll turn around and look at the other two. Does this make any sense to you?
Well, it sounds like Tales of the Walking Dead. Presto?
Cults, go! I'm assuming though it's zombie. Just nice assuming that.
Yeah, it sounds like ein zombie.
Oh, just a regular.
What
success.
are you doing exactly? What's Presto doing to occult wise to sort of?
How could
work
they have
out?
made something like this? Would they have been capable of making it themselves, or is this a
They
reaction?
Could, from what you know of the Black Sun and their occult powers, and what you know of the occult itself, because you know quite a fair bit about it, they could possess or control a human being in that way using sufficiently powerful occult tools.
Okay, so I know this is going to sound strange, but this is just regular evil magic. It's not whatever this mist is.
It's possible, but is it regular evil magic?
Well,
It might-
I'm trying to say it seems this is something the Black
it's
Sun
where the
did.
Black Sun's occultism mixes with
Oh,
the
really?
mythos.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, it's a mythos, you say?
Yes.
So you're
it's
saying
just-
these guys can make our dead men walk?
Yes, but as you've seen, walking is probably about the most thing I'm doing. Maybe using that shovel,
Maybe
but
some digging, yeah.
yeah, there's a reason why zombie armies don't really pan out the way you hope, because shockingly, dead bodies don't really make very good soldiers.
No, they're not brains.
Yeah, exactly.
Brains.
But they make good manual labor, it seems, which is what they've been using them for.
All right.
The fact that you're even saying this stuff out loud like it makes sense. I don't know about you guys, but this is
Fucked up.
Major, this ain't right, Major.
Busby, do you feel like you want to roll for sanity?
Yeah, I think Busby's losing it a little bit. I
The
think.
world is a lot bigger and a lot stranger than you think, Busby.
Ooh, but I passed.
I've seen a lot of things over
Just-
the last 3 years. Nothing is like that.
Yeah, there is a route from your own Caribbean close to the Americas, I believe, that can make a man the slave of another in his mind.
I don't know none of this malarkey you're talking about, Major. Let's just get this done. We got to get this done and get out of here.
Just be aware if we see anything else.
Right.
It's probably one of them.
If you see another figure, give it a warning. If it doesn't respond, put it down.
You can keep moving on, and as you do so,
in the old tales, they say to go for the head.
roll some spot hidden.
In the mist.
What I like is it's like just waiting to see who gets the good one, and everyone's like, I don't need to roll.
I got a 4 under 75.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's definitely
let's just let Busby find all the horrible shit.
Busby,
Yeah.
pretty much as you're walking around these corners, you're moving through these half excavated rooms and things like that. You're slowly becoming aware that there's these still shadow human figures to the left of you. There's one off to the right. There's one a bit further back. So far, there's got to be at least a dozen of them just scattered around.
So
Busby
pulls back just a little bit and very quietly says to the Major, Major, there's more of these zombie things. They're all over the place down here. There's at least 12 of them in the immediate area, but they're not doing anything. They're just standing still like that other one was.
Put him down.
Yes, sir.
If something can wake these things up, I don't want to have them in between us and the way out.
We doing this knife work, or we doing it noisy?
Don't know about you. I don't want to get too close to them.
I'm there with you, Major. So Busby goes to short range and just starts with the shotgun.
You got a silenced pistol or anything?
No, sir. I just got my shotgun and pistol. My 45. You want to take the honors? I got your back.
All right, let's see how this works. I'm going to put a single shot into into the nearest one's head.
Yeah. Much like the other one, it stands there for a second, sort of bobbing, and then collapses forwards.
Ah, look, Prestos, the stories
I
were
think I
right.
rolled the wrong thing.
You don't have to roll for it because
I
they're
was about to say it's like
targets just standing there.
Okay.
Right.
I just thought I'd do it. Okay, yeah. So
All you have
in
to
the
do
head,
is move up to them and
Does it drop?
yeah. After
Okay,
it sort of stands there for a split second longer than you would want, and
probably
then
waiting for instructions.
For each one of them, I will put a single shot into their heads.
you're you're probably down about a dozen bullets now.
Yeah, I mean, I've not used that much ammunition, so I'm not too concerned at this point.
Which way are you going?
Whichever way Heinrich and Presto tell me is the logical way.
I still haven't gotten
You
down into
know
there.
that
I keep colliding into the walls.
Actually move my token.
where you are now.
We're with
can't
you, basically.
Oh no, you have to. Wait, I'll help.
Yeah, you might have to just find the way because we don't know where the way down is.
Dunk.
Yeah, I mean, we're all staying within about 10 yards of each other. We're all
Yeah.
staying.
There we
Yeah.
go. Right. Okay, we can find there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Head towards whatever is coldest.
The map
Alright,
also
Heinrich.
identified the primary dig points as being towards the back anyway. So
So Busby's
basically
just making
up
his
from
way.
where you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you keep running into these.
Things.
Yep.
Yeah, each time it will just be a single silent shot.
While he's coming up to the next one, he just puts his knife through the base of its skull and gives it a twist to see if a quick strike will drop it.
Yep. It falls down.
The knife work works just as well if you want to save some ammo. I just take him out as I come upon him.
All right.
ahead of you, keep moving. Ahead of you, you come across a figure already slumped on the floor.
Oh, this is different.
Also wearing the uniform, or
You moving up to look at it?
how far away is it?
You'd have to get a little bit closer to be able to.
Identify yourself in the name of the king.
It's on the floor and it's not moving.
I'm not taking a chance. Single shot to the head. The major is
It
quite
doesn't
creeped out
move
by the kind of all these living dead things. He's just like, fuck no.
It doesn't move other than just jerks.
Does Busby spot
where the
anything?
impact.
He's taking a closer look, getting a little closer, taking a close look, looking to see if there's any kind of booby traps or anything in the area.
It looks to be an SS soldier. He's lying flat on the ground, face down.
I mean, I won't be far behind Busby. It will literally be a silent shot, and then as Busby moves, keep moving.
And his hands appear to be folded in front of his chest as if he was gripping onto it.
Major, there's something weird about the way this SS goon dropped.
Can I have a look at it to see what the cause of death was before the shot to the head?
You can try, but the shot to the head's going to make it more difficult, so I'm going to give you a penalty dice for your first aid roll, medicine roll.
I
don't know what
it's first aid for let the mage do it.
Well, it depends. Have you got anything other medicine?
Is it -1 on the
-1, yeah. And then it'll just add
I will spend the 2 luck required to pass.
It's a bit of a mess where you've shot him and he definitely bled, where the other ones, the dead British POWs, didn't. But you also notice that there's a lot of old dried blood around his mouth and his lips, and he seems to be clutching at his chest around his heart area. Sort of like.
Can I see?
Can I move that? Can I move the hand?
Yeah.
I'm not getting
I'm basically seeing if there's a wound underneath.
And
when I say move the hand, I don't mean delicately. I mean I'm going to kick the bloody.
No, there doesn't appear to be a wound underneath. It's like he's just gone and
Well, like he's died of shock.
fallen over.
Heart attack?
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it
seen
could be something like that.
a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it doesn't look necessarily like frightened, more in agony.
If I didn't know better, I'd say this guy had a heart attack.
Well, I don't think we have time to open him up and find out.
Sod that. Let's keep moving. Hang on. Does the guy have any papers or anything on him?
Check his pockets. Also take his medals.
Heinrich
Also, does he
takes
have
the
a Luger
medals.
on him?
Do you want one?
If he has one, I'm taking.
Yeah,
Sure,
trophy
you
on
can
it.
have one. Papers wise, that just seems to be book standard SS soldier. The Black Sun use them for their.
Because I can't read German.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just be like,
The Black Sun use the SS for their activities as foot soldiers, basically. So the SS aren't really privy to the actual secrets involved.
Yeah, he's essentially an occult goon.
Yeah.
Right, well, it was worth checking. Let's
Oh
keep
yeah,
going.
always.
We will continue
Yep.
along.
It's getting colder and darker around you, and the
Excellent, we are
mist
going
is
the
sort of
right way.
clinging to you. It
Hope you've got
more
those
than
explosives
wet.
ready.
Oh, I'm bearing
It's
them.
feeling a little bit slimy, sort of like the moisture is so thick now that it's more.
Also, as we've been kind of navigating round, because obviously it's quite dark,
Yeah.
Turner will be, keeping a mental note of the basic
Yeah.
map of the way out.
No problem.
That's our escape route. If he has to lead people out in a hurry, he wants to know where to go.
I can actually.
Okay,
I
right,
will
well,
turn that on for you. I
don't know,
can
my
actually.
desk lamp
There you
is
go.
going crazy. I think Cthulhu is actually in my room.
There you go. This is where it all goes.
Yeah.
If
The
I've tried one
dankness and the
last time.
coldness, I told you.
keep
No,
watching,
it's
everyone,
just
if you want to see Nye
What?
eaten by an
It's just
elder being.
20,000 goblet growth.
I mean, that effect would be.
Odin
perfect
will
for like
sing an
alien
aria as Nye gets devoured by an old
it's
one.
very dark. Isn't it? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm
No,
just-
yeah,
I'll read you one.
keep moving.
Um,
As you keep moving, there's occasionally these corpses, more of them, and a lot of them seem to be in a similar predicament.
Still
There's
SS?
several still clutching at their chest or like with hands
Are these-
clenched, fallen on the.
Are
They're
these
all
more SS soldiers?
yeah, they're all SS
Okay,
soldiers.
yeah.
Major, whatever happened to them wasn't no normal heart attack. They all dropped like this.
They're all dead in the same way.
Yeah, something's very wrong.
Can we unbutton the uniform of one just to check that they haven't had, strange occult
Okay,
surgery?
I will cut open the uniform of one of them.
Can I
Who
have the
else is standing?
After sticking my knife
around?
through the head.
button? Just to be sure.
I take it you're also shining a flashlight on
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
area you've got.
Yeah.
Busby's doing Overwatch,
There's
so he's
a
not looking at the
lot-
body.
A lot of stippling and internal bleeding and bruising in there. There's a lot of, clearly blood built up under the skin.
so it looks like he has had some serious internal trauma around his heart.
If you didn't know better, you'd say his heart probably exploded.
Exploded.
and-
Oh my god, okay. Jesus.
Well, it couldn't have happened to a bunch of nicer guys, that's for sure,
But
Major.
Right.
this is true. If we could do this to all of them, that would be even better.
I mean,
I like the
I
explodings.
agree with you, but I don't want it happening to us.
Oh no,
That's true.
that would be appalling. What the scheiß? Okay, onwards. Take the medals. Maybe check.
All right.
please.
All right, Major, we'll keep going.
We can
Yeah.
only keep going forwards.
Yeah, you're you're passing more of these POWs and occasionally more of the things. I'll just slip you back over here because you probably want to go that way.
Oh, okay. We
Oh, is
don't
that a
have
dead
a-
end?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, again, any of them that we see will end up with a knife in the head.
I will say a prayer over the allied POWs, and I will obviously spit on the SS.
I will also collect dog tags if the allied POWs are wearing them.
Yeah. Yeah. There aren't really many of them wearing any of them. They've probably been taken away for the most part. But you find a couple with it stuffed down their trousers somewhere or kept
Tied
safe
into their
Down-
boots.
in their
down the boot,
boots.
yeah.
And then you eventually, Busby, you come across what looks like probably a well or something similar. It's a big built up area, but clearly there's a hole going down where they've tunneled down in through here, and you can see sort of a rope hanging over the lip, and next to the rope there's another last SS soldier lying there with sitting, leaning back against it with his head slumped forwards, but his eyes are they watching you?
Go to
And the knife goes in.
not watching anymore.
yeah, as you move forwards to put the knife in, the eyes follow you around.
Yeah, knife's definitely going. Or actually, if it's before I get too close, I will shoot him. If I see that from about 10 yards away, it's just gonna be.
No, the eyes, pretty much, unless you're specifically gonna shoot them out, they keep, like, even after there's a hole in it, they keep watching you.
Major.
Actually, I think you can roll for sanity for that. Because
That's pretty freaking freaky.
Yeah, that's not right.
Even in death, the eyes still stare.
Oh yeah, that was a big lie. That was a big fail.
Holy shit! I still.
Anyone who failed can roll a d3.
Oh,
It's really creepy, but not.
Oh, I failed.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to use my reroll.
Oh yeah, don't
Yeah.
forget your re-rolls,
I
people.
passed.
Nah, I'll take it. I'll take the sanity loss because that was too freaky not to go a little nuts on.
I'll take the sand.
So
I still
yeah,
have the incendiary charges.
Busby and Heinrich, can you also roll a power roll for me? Power.
Not. It's not looking. This might be my reroll.
Yeah, this might be the one.
Yep.
Oh, I'm burning that reroll.
2 fails.
I'll reroll. Reroll.
You're not using. I'd have just used that. Oh.
If I wanted to, which possibly I didn't.
I will.
So-
I will use my. I will use 6 luck to pass that.
Yeah. Odin, Heinrich
succeeded.
sees something from the corner of their, from his eye, but you sort of shake it off and go, it's probably more of these POW
More
Zombies.
just zombies in the mist. Yeah, it's fine.
Whereas Busby, for the briefest moment, because you used your luck to just tip over you almost heard you heard a whisper, and it was a very familiar voice. Like, for the briefest split second, you almost wanted to say Jonesy, but
Major, we got to get out of here, Major. We got to finish this up fast. There's too much weird shit going on here. Jonesy's dead. Major,
But,
he's
yeah.
lost it. He's lost it. He cannot be here, Major.
I cut the rope that's going down the well.
are you gonna go down there at all?
No, we are going to pack the now very, very dead SS person with lots of lovely explosives, and then we're going to pitch them down the well.
Do I have like a small bit of, like, I don't know, pocket something, like a pencil or something, just so I can drop it into the well to
I
hear
have
how
many
deep it
medals.
is.
Would you like one of them?
Yeah, just something to drop, right?
Here, have
So
a
take
death's
it.
head.
Do you want any grenades to go with that?
Well,
Oh,
I'm
don't
just
worry,
gonna-
there will be a special package.
Yeah, special package.
No,
I want
no.
to drop it. How long does it take before I hear the tinkling of the metal hitting the ground?
You'd estimate that it was probably about 40 yards down.
Okay, that's not,
That's
because I was about to say, if it's like a proper, it takes like a minute for it to drop, then the
It's
explosives
not.
are going to do
Yeah,
nothing.
it's just it's under the ground somewhere, but
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not an explosives expert, so I
Hello.
might be wrong. Yes, Albrecht, if we drop a big surprise explosion
Albrecht is
down
my
there.
uncle.
Oh, yes, no.
Can
Heinrich, sorry. I think I've called you Albrecht several times now.
so
Heinrich,
what,
yeah,
are you
family
all
resemblance.
discussing this around the well, or
Well, all I want to know is if we drop a big block of explosives,
Yeah.
do we need to run really quickly? Is that
Well,
going to like bring
Or
this
set a
place
longer
down?
timer?
I can set a timer for the
Oh,
explosives.
okay,
that's
that's
fine.
fine then.
I'll put it all over there anyway next
I
to
would
the
think-
well. So
You think I'm
Let's
bad
just
at
look,
sneaking?
make
I'm
this-
bad at running.
Heinrich, make it quick.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to prepare one large parcel to be attached to the unfortunate SS officer and then chuck it down the
anyone
hole.
who isn't Heinrich, and probably not Busby at the moment because you're still a bit shaky. Want to roll a listen test?
Sure, it's a 20% shot, so I don't have high hopes. Oh!
Oh, you made it! You hard success.
That can't be good. You hear the crying of a child.
Presto,
the well.
from behind you, actually the well's fairly silent except for this whooshing and occasional splashing. But from behind you, you hear a sort of... it's kind of like a whirring, like gears, something like that. And you hear...
Oh no.
Guys, do you fucking hear that? There's something coming down here. Mechanical gears, springs, something.
Heinrich
Anyone
pushed out
want to
Busby,
look
eyes red.
behind you?
Yeah.
I'm too
Oh,
busy.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just wiring
Well,
explosions.
presumably I would have
Spinning around,
tried.
gun coming up.
Yeah.
As you turn around, this human-sized figure with metallic talons coming out where its hand
I'm
should
pulling
be,
the trigger.
and a face that is essentially just a big metal mask with things inscribed in it is
At them before.
running straight for you, and you can hear this whirring coming
Yeah,
from
full
within
auto.
it. As you full auto blast at it, it crunches to the side and the bullets spray past it, and then it starts scrambling up the side of the walls and rushing towards you.
Major!
And with that, we'll fade to black.
Major!
Just need a couple of minutes.
So
Very delicate. Don't interrupt.
thank you, everyone. Well, thank you to the players for being so awesome as usual, and thank you to everyone for watching tonight. And join us next week for what will probably be the concluding episode of the Burr of Last Resort,
Still alive
and we'll
right
see
now.
if they actually dare go down into the well.
No, blowing it up.
It's going to be 1 hour and 59 minutes of fighting the mechanical monstrosity, and then the last minute is us running away from a big explosion.
Kaboom. It's all kaboom from here on in.
All explosives and gunfire.
Yes.
So there you go. Definitely join us for a very action-packed episode of Achtung, Cthulhu. The bit you've all been waiting for, where the heroes take on mechanical occult monsters and probably other monsters as well that might still be lurking around.
And possibly, very possibly, die horribly.
Yeah, very likely dying.
I
This all
mean,
makes me glad we
Heroically.
called in the airstrike before we went.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pre-planning.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly trying to open up the Discord so that I can look at what's going on this week. But if anyone else knows,
So
Was it better than me?
tomorrow is Aliens at 9 o'clock British Standard Time, correct?
I think so.
And then Blades that evening with Garblag North America
yeah.
at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Mhm.
Then Friday we're back with Hot Nights in the Summer,
Vampire Summer.
Yep.
Vampire Summer at 9 o'clock British Standard Time again, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Before background to Monday, which is Coriolis. Is it?
no, Monday.
I think
Monday, I think is going to be
Is-
Pete's going to run some Dodeca, isn't he? Or is that?
I don't know. To be
I think
arranged.
no
that's-
idea. Monday's kind of
yeah.
up in the air.
TBC.
That's probably
TBC.
Mondays. Yeah,
BBC.
and Tuesday is probably Pete's Dodeca maybe, or something else
Watch this,
because
guys.
Somebody in
yeah,
chat's going,
because
"Why do they not
Coriolis."
know?"
And then, Tuesday
has come to a spectacular
Lily's doing her
conclusion.
best in chat.
and then
Yeah.
Tuesday night is back to the Mask of Nyarlathotep,
Oh, yes.
where we do some more Call of Cthulhu in New York City.
Woo.
Obviously, people in chat, feel free to let us know what you would like to see more of as well, because that's useful. And then, yeah, after that, back to Achtung Cthulhu for the big finale, with lots of explosions and gunfire.
Car chases.
Maybe Cthulhu himself will show up and just be like massive endgame. No, we'll see.
We're gonna need more bombers.
So, yeah, with that, I shall bid you all good night. And thank you for joining us on Garblag Games. See you next week. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.